about those who are never heard of Jesus Christ? What happened to them? Will they go to hell just because they never heard of Jesus Christ? What if they're good? Will God punish them although they have done right? Well, the truth be told, the Bible says none is good. No, not even one. We are going to we are going to hell just because we rejected of Christ. The reason for going to hell because you are a sinner. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, Romans 3:23 says. So Jesus Christ is not come to to condemn you, but to save you. And the truth be told, that we are already condemned because we are sinners. John 3:17-18. For God hath sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believeth on him is not condemned. So you go to Jesus Christ to be released from that condemnation. But those who do not believe are condemned already because you are a sinner. You are condemned because you have never heard of Jesus Christ. You are condemned because you're a sinner. And with God, there is no respecter of persons. He doesn't show favoritism. For his justice to be just, we cannot have people going to heaven based on if they on that they are good, doing good, because none is good. Or we can't have people going to heaven just because going to heaven even though they have not heard of Jesus Christ. That would uh, go off into universalism that people are saved even though they have not even accepted Jesus Christ. So I mean, people are guilty, and no matter if they were told um, told God's law or not. Romans 2:11-15 that says um, that just because the Gentiles were not given the law, that the law was given to the Jews, doesn't mean that they're not condemned by the law. Um, it says, "For as many have sinned without the law shall also perish without the law. Even as many as sinned in the law shall be judged by the law." So this is a conundrum. How will God judge those who are never who have never got the chance to accept or reject Jesus Christ? But we can see what we can come to a conclusion what God has revealed. So that it says even though the Gentiles were not given the law, they have their conscience. Even though their conscious are corrupted, but they do the things which are contained in the law. They do having their conscience bearing right from wrong. That they see that harm is bad, killing is bad because it causes pain. So they have consciousness, although their conscience is set on their um, on nature, on their corrupt nature, um, or on their um, conceited, lustful desires. But Titus 1:15 says, "Unto all things are pure, but unto them that are defilable and unbelieving, nothing is pure. Even their mind and conscience is defiled." So, even though they were not given God's law, they still have a conscience. Although their conscience is defiled, corrupted by their sin, they still have a conscience. And that's when what happens when you're saved, your conscience is washed or revitalized, washed and revitalized. So you have a conscience towards God, towards the standard of God as said. Hebrews 10:22. Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience. So a conscience is defiled and evil, and our bodies washed with pure water. So, so you're telling me, you asked me, well, how how are they still accountable for the sin if they have not given the law? Um, you know, how they going to be judged? Well, we do not know how God works things, how God's mercy is standards, but we can come to a conclusion that God will um judge them according to what they do know and not what they don't know. That the according to the light they were given, that it's not an excuse to say that they don't see evidence for God, because the complexity of creation of the universe and the earth and human bodies and animal bodies are so complex, that life is so complex that it screams for the evidence of God. Romans 10:28 says, even though they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, they reject the knowledge of the evidence for God, that they close their ears like, well, I don't see evidence for God. Um, the complexity of life does not prove that there's a God. So you have closed your ears to even to acknowledging that there is a God. So God um relinquished, took away his hand and let you go your own way. God gave them over to reprobate mind and to those things that are not convenient, that does not benefit you, that hurt you. But he turned you over to it because it respects your free will. If you want to live an eternity separate from God, he's not going to take you kicking and screaming to be with him. So he did not like to even acknowledge the evidence in creation that he revealed himself. He revealed himself in other people, that we have this innate drive to know God and to help the less fortunate. Um, so um, it's evident. It's evident that in creation, the complexity of life, that there is a God, that creation screams for a God, because how can this all happen by chance, by just an accident, that the cosmos arranged itself to such perfection, or that life, you know, compounded itself, eventually evolving over time, that we have intelligent beings such as humans, not just animals, but animals that show human emotion, but a a being that could reflect on themselves and reflect on moral choices. That's not an excuse. It's not an excuse to say, well, God has not made it known to me that there is such thing as existence. Romans 1:18-20, for the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all godliness and righteous men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, that for God hath showed it unto him. God has showed you that he made the things that can be known of God, that there he existed, his existence can be known, and it's evident in them that they have a conscience. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen. So the invisible things, that how the universe works are clearly seen, being understood the things that are made, even eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. That they are without excuse. Creations creation screams for the evidence of God because it's so complex that it can't be just an accident, that us as humans are not accidents. So you ask me, well, you still maybe you still have a hard time about um what if they never had the chance, that what if not nobody has gotten to them with the gospel? How can God punish them for not having the opportunity to accept him? Well, if they are willing to, that they are seeking God, willing to know him, that they are crying out that to reveal himself, that God will do it. Because we see this in Acts 10 that Cornelius um, worshiped God in the religious Jewish sense, but he wasn't saved just because he revered God. But he, um, the gospel that he sent Peter, that to give him the gospel, because he prayed for for him to be known. He, Cornelius prayed um, for for um, for him to be a relationship with God. So Acts 10's 1 to 6, there was certain man in Caesarea named called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man, one that feared God with all his house, which gave him alms to the people and prayed to God always. He saw in a vision, evidently about the ninth hour out of the day, an angel of God coming into him and saying unto him, Cornelius. When he looked on him, he was afraid and said, What is it, Lord? And he said unto him, Thy prayers and thy alms are come up for a memorial before thee. Now send men to Joppa and call for the one Simon, whose surname is Peter. He lodged with one a tanner, whose house by the seaside. He shall tell thee what thou must do, to what thou must do to come in relation with him. So the excuse that, well, I never heard of God, so how can I be punished? Well, call out to him that the gospel will ask that someone send someone to you to preach the gospel to you, and call out to God while there's still time before the judgment. Don't wait another minute, because 2 Corinthians 6:2 says, Today is the day of salvation. I heard in the time it has been said, I've heard in a time accepted, in the day of salvation I secured thee. Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. Now is the day you should um, um, believe in Jesus Christ. Don't wait another minute. Do not put it off. Oh, I'll get around to it. Well, if you keep on putting off, maybe you'll never get around to it. Then it'll be too late. The judgment will come and it'll be too late. You cannot, after the judgment, the door is closed to his kingdom. After the door is closed, there's nothing, no more pleading. You cannot plead with God to let you in, because it would be too late. Do not put it off another second. Put your faith in Jesus Christ. Believe that he died, buried, and rose again on the third day according to the scriptures. And believe that, trust in that he has done that to save you from your sins, and you shall be saved. We'll see you next time. Thank you and take care.